You're listening to the Wicked Theory Podcast.
We're very happy to have you back, even for a short visit.
And here we go.
Broadcasting to you live, somewhere between the land of the lost and the land before time, this is the Wicked Theory Podcast. Yeah. Hey, kids, we're back. Man, all freshened up. I'm going to pretend I'm in a great mood, and we're just going to keep on rolling on. Well, not really. I am in a good mood now. The mics are on. I'm Bill Sweeney, and that's right. I said my name this time. And I got my buddy Ed with me.
Good. Just a figure of speech. I'm half Jew myself. I work with Jews. They Jew me all day long, so I could say it.
Okay, we'll come back to that. And we got Brother Bob on guitar.
What's up, everybody?
I'm surprised you don't play yourself in like that smoothly more often after all of these years, you know?
Well, maybe I'll start doing that.
Yeah, I don't know. It's another way to look at it.
You say that after we start recording all this stuff on the guitar finally.
Damn it. You know what I mean? That's what we're like talking about maybe not doing it anymore. Moving away, changing some things. Yeah, changing things down the line.
Well, I think the idea was to keep the guitar off my lap in case a fight broke out with some Star Wars fans in here or something.
You never know. You never know. Ruffians, just a bunch of ruffians.
Yeah,
and
well,
that's all we
Star
are.
Wars fans are.
Well, you know,
Yeah.
they're what does he say? It's a hive of scum.
Well,
they're all scum and villainy.
He says they're all Jews.
Well, yeah. Let's get back to that.
hang
Yeah.
on,
Let's
hang
get back to
on.
that.
No.
So your opening quote.
It's a John Goodman quote
From
a movie called Gigantic,
Okay.
which I've never seen, with Paul Dano and Zoe Deschanel.
Why, thank you.
And in that, was supposed to buy that he's a half Jew.
From 2008. Yeah. He's making a business deal with someone.
I'm guessing he got all that height from the other side of the family.
Right before he says that, he says, don't Jew me up on the price. By the way,
Yeah.
are you a Jew? The guy says no. It's good.
Right. I can get away with talking like that. Sure. Okay. Fine. Fair. That's. I guess that's fine.
That's the whole point of speech. I can say that because I'm half a Jew.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So this is episode 175.
Sure.
Sure. I just somehow I pulled that out of my culito,
Let me change that.
even though I left it in the dock.
Sounds like a new
73.
movie. Coolito's Way.
Culito's way. Yeah, it's very different. It's very different. It might be the porn version.
Hola, mamacita.
It might be the porn parody.
I don't know if Kleinfeld's in that one.
Yeah, Kleinfeld's got a whole different set of responsibilities. So this is 175. We'll get to some nerdish news and maybe some pop culture reviews. We got a little chat room game for the kids.
Yup.
This is a podcast, and sometimes we read emails. So people want to send an email, they can send it to podcast@wickedtheory.com.
Yeah.
Wickedtheory.com. It's
Yeah.
that easy, folks.
Throw it up, man.
You know, write something.
You bang it out.
Make your fingers work.
Yeah.
Flex them, stretch them, do something.
Throw out an interesting question, man. We want to hear from you.
You know,
Yeah.
start asking outrageous questions.
How about you just let us know that you're alive?
Yeah, you can do that
You know.
too. If you just want to touch base, like,
You know.
hey, hi,
You know?
that's it.
I mean, it's not a suicide hotline or anything, but, you know.
Yeah, well, maybe,
Let's put it to use somehow.
or if you, I guess if it's a suicide email, like hotline, like kind of thing, it's there's a certain amount of waiting.
Right.
You really can't be like, oh, I'm doing it today,
Right.
and be
Well,
like,
this works for that, and it works for the voicemail, too.
That's true. So if you want to send us a voicemail, you can do that at wickedtheory.com. There's a little red tab when you go there. It pops out from the side. You can leave us like a 90-second voicemail, and we'll play that on the air when we get them.
Sure.
We haven't got one in a while. And if you want to be a character and a weirdo and leave something like that, if this is what it takes to encourage people to do it,
Yeah.
fucking do it.
Just,
Fucking do it.
just don't do stuff like this.
Because that's Bob's bit. If we've learned anything through the years, that's his bit. You know what I mean?
Well, that's just my way of saying we don't want you jerking off on the phone.
Well, I think we got that. And that's Bob's other bit, is explaining the bit. Just so you know. All right. So, Ed,
Considering we have all 4 fans, I think they know.
yeah, they're familiar.
So
That's
no need to rub it in.
that's
Bill.
true.
Thank
That's true. That's true. I don't have to explain him explaining.
Yeah.
So, DC TV Report is a weekly cornucopia of all things DC TV.
Yes.
Therefore, it's a report
Yeah.
and it's a podcast that you do, Ed, with Sarah Netzley,
Yes.
freelance writer for EW.com, every dang week.
Yeah, every week. Now, there were no new episodes this week.
Right,
but-
because you guys do recaps normally. That's the main thrust.
Yeah, but you know, we did cover a lot of news. We did a retro pick, which was the first appearance of the Riddler
On Batman the
Animated Series, and this is the first week we got to watch Batman the Animated Series on DC Universe, which launched today, Batman Day.
Right.
Actually, they had it available like a couple days ago. But,
Sure, but if you were like in the beta, I
but
guess.
this was like the official like
true.
no, they opened it up for everybody.
Oh,
Like,
a
all
couple
of
days
sudden-
early?
Yeah. But yeah. So got to enjoy that. Get to see Batman the Animated Series is on there in HD. And like I've been like hyping this up and everything, but
Yeah.
even still, you don't realize how much of a difference it makes
No,
until
yeah.
you actually watch it and you realize like, oh man, there's like
Well, even me watching it in a standard def YouTube clip
yeah.
about it, like I could tell.
Yeah.
I could tell how cleaned up it was. Like you
Yeah.
know, the guy who does the voice for Batman,
Kevin Conroy.
Kevin Conroy was doing a little segment on the DC universe thing
Yeah.
about the whole just Batman Day. Like just basically it's the best job I ever had. It was the first job I ever had.
Yeah.
Therefore,
Oh, isn't that the same guy that was on Taxi? He was Bobby on Taxi?
no.
No.
So Wheeler.
Yeah, right.
I just
Bobby
heard,
Wheeler.
yeah, I just heard, what's his name saying, Wheeler. So anyway, my point being that just like you could see the clarity even in that, you know what I mean? But all right, so a lot of DC news in general this week.
Yeah.
DC TV news, all those shows are coming back. So if you're into any of those shows, you go over, you check out Ed and Sarah.
Yeah.
There's time codes in the descriptions of the episode. You can jump ahead, skip past what you don't really watch.
Yeah.
You can just kind of pull out what you need,
Exactly.
what you guys are nice enough to serve up hot and fresh.
Yeah, you just want to know about Doom Patrol?
Yeah.
Well, there's Doom Patrol news this week.
Doom Patrol music.
Yeah.
All right, so
Yeah.
that's gonna be my bit. I just want you to know that's my new bit. Is just doing your thing.
Yeah. And
Edward O'Hare music.
yeah, and also if you go to wickedtheory.com, you can check out the Franchise Chronicles.
There you go.
I've been writing articles, and the Fury Road article has been written for a few days, and
Yeah,
I
yeah,
promise
yeah.
it will post.
Yeah, me too. Because it's all on me. I will take that promise away from you and off of your burden, and I will make the promise that this Monday that should go up.
Okay.
I'm not promising what time, because heaven forbid I forget
Yeah.
somehow between now and then.
Yeah.
And it's a rush job at 3 o'clock. You know what I mean? But whatever.
And we're gonna try to make a regular thing. We're announcing the new franchise later this episode. I'm not saying it right now.
Wow.
Later
That's a
this
real
episode.
tease.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Oof.
So when we get to my meanwhile.
Okay.
you know.
That's if the box is still on the table.
It's true. It's true. It's just sitting right there. He brought the whole damn thing with him. All right. So
27 million CDs in that thing.
yeah, really. So with that, people, if you're looking for Scoop during the week and we're just not around for you, you can check out The Real Thing. It's a Facebook page. It's a friend of the show, Wes Weezer. It's
Yeah.
a different Wes. It's not Wesley Gaskins. But he's running this page over there. And so, the guy keeps up to date with a lot of the news, breaking news stuff. So if you're on Facebook, you're looking for a hub for that kind of thing, place to go, cool people to talk to about it. That's a place. The Real Thing.
Yeah.
Real, like movie real, or
Yeah, it's-
EEL.
Yeah, it's been taking off lately, too.
Yeah. it's staying
And he works hard on that, dude.
yeah, man. That dude alone is the reason why I keep plugging it.
Yeah.
It's like, man, this guy's
Yeah, 'cause-
doing yeoman's work, as they say.
Yeah.
He's posting like 2-3 things a day.
Yeah. He's keeping busy. So with that, I guess that's it. We can do a little chat room roll call. Who's in there?
We got Agent Palmer.
Hey, oh.
We got Wesley.
Yeah.
And there's people.
Oh.
Oh.
Yeah, there's people in there.
Yeah,
Yeah, they're all livening it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's 2 other guys who may be sitting in this room.
It's a little bit of that.
I threw out a tweet 10 minutes ago before we started. So
All right. We're hoping all you kids come back in. I'll close that door.
Yeah.
Thank you. So, all right. Let's give them a chat room game anyway.
all right. So today's hashtag, you want to say it, Bill?
Other superheroes Kryptonite. Basically, the idea is what's the weakness for other superheroes that would do them in roughly the same as Kryptonite for Superman.
Oh, so not like a form of kryptonite specifically for them, and it's just a specific item.
Sure.
Their examples include Batman and relationships.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, that could be that's a bit of a crutch for him.
And Mighty Mouse and a sharp cheddar.
Oh, well, yeah, he does have a nose for cheese. You know, so
Because he's a mouse.
who put the Mighty Mouse one in there?
That was me.
Yeah, you fuck.
I wanted to do something that was a little.
I mean, you could have done.
I wanted to open it up a little bit.
All right, I would have put cocaine. Because at least that's running with some other thing. The last time we talked about Mighty Mouse was about him doing cocaine for an eighth of a second on that cartoon in the 90s.
Didn't want to. Okay, fine.
Didn't want to make it NC-17 by mentioning cocaine.
I was gonna say I don't know. I don't know if that's real or audience. Like no.
He wanted to keep it Norman Rockwell, frankly.
Yeah. We're a little bit more.
With an upper middle America Republican upbringing.
We're a little bit more Stanley Mouse.
Yeah, I'm kind of hoping if I throw out Mighty Mouse, you might get like other superheroes besides like DC and Marvel. Like let's see.
What do you think we're gonna get? Like fuck.
Let's see who throws out Space Ghost.
You might get Space Ghost, but you really want like Rawhide Kid or some deep cut like.
Let's see who throws out the Herculoids.
Fucking what was
Draw McGraw?
Yeah. Or,
I don't think they really actually qualify as superheroes.
what was that
I mean,
combo?
Herculoids, yeah, but they're aliens. So
does Hong Kong Phooey count?
I guess we're going all over.
yeah.
We're not even like.
Well, now that we've laid a whole bunch of out left field ideas out there.
Hong Kong Phooey, we'll get to him later on.
Oh yeah.
We got some Hong Kong Phooey to discuss.
Yeah,
okay.
Something like that. Yeah.
Kind of.
Yeah, it's definitely Hong Kong Phooey related.
Yeah. It's Kung Fu in the city, you know.
Yeah.
But we'll get to that in a minute.
Everybody was, in fact, Kung Fu fighting.
And much better this time around. So, but first, we do the news stuff. Because now that we've established where we're at, it's news time. News o'clock.
So we got some big news.
Edward O'Hare, industrious young cub reporter
Yes. You want to hear your
for the local Staten Island Nerd News.
Yeah. You want to hear the story that you put in there, or that I
The one that's underneath my tag, underneath my heading?
Yes.
Or should I do it like this? Hot news from Hollywood. Aaron Paul is added to WestWorld, HBO's #1 series.
In an undisclosed role.
In an undisclosed role, you'll be hearing things like, "Is that my clone, bitch? You're a robot, bitch." Aaron Paul, people may remember him from such things as Breaking Bad and Breaking Bad.
Yes. Well, The Path on Hulu.
Yeah, he did that too. That was
And
cool.
he was also a winner on The Price is Right.
That's true.
In the early aughts.
Didn't they try to put him in the Furious movies, or did he get? He had his own.
Was he in one?
No, he was
he-
in Need for Speed.
Oh,
that's right.
Yeah, they tried to give him his own franchise.
Yeah.
A whole franchise. And they were like, we can do car movies, but we can't do car movies from video games. That just won't work. That's how much Hollywood hates, like how bad video games won't work in movies. Even when it's something, it's just a race car movie. It doesn't need to be a lot. It's like, nah, man, not working.
No, you know what the problem was? They didn't stay true to the source material.
I bet you're right. I don't know if that's the case.
I guarantee you, all these times that they fail, they think they don't work.
Yeah.
The reason is because the people who came there wanted to see the video game, and they changed it too much, and they didn't get it.
Yeah.
And the people who didn't see the video game that showed up saw a really bad movie. So,
Ed, you got to realize though that the Need for Speed game franchise is about racing until a cop pulls you over, and then racing some more. Just driving really fast down the street until a cop pulls you. Basically,
It's Smokey and the Bandit.
and you know what?
basically.
I guarantee you that scene never happened in the movie.
Right.
He never got pulled over
No,
by a cop.
no. He gets pulled over once in the beginning.
Yeah.
In the first 20 to establish the setup and the parameter, and then the rest of the movie is trying to just stay away from that cop.
Yeah.
He's basically a lone Duke of Hazzard,
Oh, okay.
and that's his Roscoe.
Okay.
To put it in context, someone older than you needs to have it handed to them. I'm sorry. So, but anyway, Aaron Paul joining WestWorld. That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
I'm presuming because WestWorld is expanding in its third season, where their stories take place, that we'll be getting a fair amount of new characters, I think.
Now, do you think he's going to be a human or a
Oh, that's
host?
that's a show. You can't even make that call because they'll pull a double whammy on you where it's like he's a clone of a ghost. like, or some, he's a duplicate of a guy who was, not born yet.
So far, I think there isn't anybody in the show that isn't a person at this point. They've pulled everybody, turned them around to the point where
you can't trust anybody anymore.
Yeah.
Like they've pulled the hoodwink with enough main characters where it's like, well, fuck you.
Yeah.
But I love it.
Yeah.
So looking forward to it.
And to Palmer, who's like, skewering us in the chat right now for bashing Need for Speed.
Right.
To be fair, none of us saw it.
Right.
All we're doing is speculating as to why it failed financially.
Right.
That's all.
Right. Fair enough. So, yeah, on to you. I mean, back to you, I guess, even though it's not really like.
So just news.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there came out a report, a leak from Warner
Did you say a
Brothers.
report?
Yeah, so some leak from Warner Brothers.
Hot leak.
Yeah.
Hot steamy leak.
Henry Cavill was reportedly not going to play Superman anymore. And then, of course, everyone backtracked, especially Henry Cavill's agent, and said, whoa, hang on here.
Yeah.
Hang on.
Everybody take it
No
easy.
one said that at all yet.
Right. Take it easy.
Take it easy.
We're,
And then Cavill put out the weirdest tweets, which is a video
of him at the gym.
looking into the camera wearing like a Krypton lifting t-shirt and this weird like dogs barking with music playing in the background. He slowly holds up an action figure of himself. And that was it. It was like, what the hell does that mean?
I think it means he's taking acid now. I think that's what it means. He wants us all to come down to his level. He's getting high on the blue kryptonite.
Yeah. But like the report was that he wasn't going to be in it anymore because they wanted to focus more on a Supergirl movie and also his recent casting in Netflix's Witcher TV show, another video game that is being turned
It coincided the news, so everybody started to speculate and twist it around.
Well, because he was doing Witcher now, he's not available anymore to film a cameo.
For a while,
to film a cameo in the Shazam movie.
Oh, okay.
So like they were saying like, we're cutting ties. It's done.
It's done. It's over now. He's dead. It's time to start looking for another one. All right. Well, I guess we can not do the who should be the next Superman game.
Yeah, well,
scratch that off the fucking list.
Well, then the other thing is, did you hear that this because Ben Affleck happens to be in rehab now, they're saying that like he's not going to be playing Batman anymore.
We can have a junkie Batman. Why can't we have a junkie Batman? It's the one Batman I want. Is the James O'Barr canceled Batman project. James O'Barr it's a real story. James O'Barr, for those of you who don't know, created the Crow and like made a junkie Batman. It's one of the images I use in the graphics. It's like a thing DC was like, oh no, we didn't realize. No, we don't want that. We don't want Batman in a dog collar with spikes on it, smoking cigarettes and carrying a gun. Nah, that's not what we're going for. And I'm like, yeah, I'll take it. Anyway.
So yeah, well, he dropped out, and evidently, John Hamm came out and said, "I'll be Batman."
John Hamm was axed, and he was like, "Yeah, I mean, like, yeah, haven't had the conversation." He literally said, "I haven't had a conversation about it. Never spoke to them anybody about that kind of thing." But I mean, yeah, it's fucking Batman. Like, I read comics, like, it's fucking Batman.
Yeah, and listen, John Hamm should have been Batman like 10 years ago. Like,
yeah, he would have aged into it perfectly. I'll take him as Kingdom Come Superman. Ooh, how about that, right?
There you go.
By the time they get around to it, he would be aged perfect.
I would say he needs about another 10 years, I think.
Right, that's what I'm thinking. We can put the frosty tips on the sides of his head.
Right. Yeah, but he's going to be... He's
going to be Lobo. He's going to be Lobo. Sheriff Lobo from the 80s.
Yeah.
No, but there was that little bit of Batman talk for him. He was axed. And so, he's down for it. If somebody wants to let him fill in for Affleck. Yeah. I'll take it. Works for me.
Yeah.
In honor of Batman Day, I'd say I don't know who else, but,
Jake Gyllenhaal?
No.
Yeah, I mean, Gyllenhaal, I think, could pull it off.
No.
He's got to bulk up a little bit.
No, and get some lifts in his fucking shoes.
Oh, you think it's a height thing?
Yeah, it's a height thing.
They can make that
Joseph
work.
Gordon-Levitt.
Tom Cruise's Batman?
No.
Why not?
It would ruin Batman.
No.
Tainted forever.
Yeah, it would.
It basically would.
Just my knee jerk. I don't know.
But not because of his height.
No, it's not because of his height.
Yeah, right. You can't be any shorter than Michael Keaton. All right? Michael Keaton was already kind of pushing it. You know what I mean?
The only way I see Tom Cruise doing anything Batman related,
Yeah.
he has to be in a Batman and Robin movie, and the movie has to be Robin centric because he has to be Robin.
Like old man Robin.
or just like have a Batman movie. Everyone thinks it's a Batman movie, but because it's Tom Cruise, it's really a Robin movie.
Oh yeah, I got you.
You know what I mean?
We're spending a lot of story focus on Robin in
and
this
you
movie.
just see Batman hanging out like in the Dunkin' Donuts at 3 a.m.
Right.
Coffee and a donut.
Right, just letting Robin solve all the
Robin's
crime.
running by.
Right.
You know,
hanging off the side of trucks and doing everything really over the top.
Right. Yeah.
I got you.
Occasionally, you just see Batman. You know, because after about 20 minutes of seeing Robin, you're gonna be like, "Hey, where's Batman?"
Right. And he's just waiting.
Cuts, seeing they cross paths.
Fell asleep in the Batmobile, just waiting. Just knock on the window when you're done. All right, so there's that. And then Swamp Thing? Swamp Thing music.
Yeah. So we got a casting here.
Yeah.
On to play Swamp Thing.
Sure.
In the suit.
In the suit.
He's not playing Alec Holland.
Which is the character before he gets turned into Swampy.
Yeah, but the physical suit is gonna be Derek Mears.
Yeah.
Who is a character actor, does a lot of stunt work, has very distinctive face.
Yeah.
Because he's an albino, no hair, no eyebrows.
Ed put it like this. He reminds me of Jason Voorhees in
Friday the 13th Part 1.
Part 1. When he comes up out of the swamp.
He looks like a grown-up. And he played Jason Voorhees in the remake of Friday the 13th in 2009.
And there you go.
And it's, yeah.
They make sense.
Yeah, I mean, his eyes are both lined up.
Well, that's good.
But
no, he looks like Zod shaved.
Like Zod shaved.
I can't remember the actor's name right now. So that's
I know what you mean.
Michael Shannon.
Michael Shannon. Yeah.
A little bit like that.
Yeah, but he's been around. He played Dwarf Star on Arrow last season. He played a Kree on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Guy's been around. 2 shows. Don't know. Couldn't care. No, I'm kidding. Go ahead. But yeah, I think physically he's good for that part. Be interested to see like how much acting he does. Or if it's really just going to be whoever they play, Alec Holland doing the voice. But he's the guy in the suit, and I think that's a good pick.
Sure.
And as long as we're on it, because we're light on news this week, I'll throw out something that happened last week. Doom Patrol cast the Chief. Did you see who they cast?
I did. And it's like a thing where, like, you know, if we talk about you, you will get work.
Yes.
It was Timothy Dalton.
T-Dalt, baby.
T-Dalt. They dusted off the fucking whatever they put him in at the old folks' home.
Yeah.
And they were like, well, he's already in a wheelchair. This works.
He was probably at the top of the Who's Desperate for Work pile.
Well, exactly. But still has like some kind of name recognition and gravitas.
Oh, yeah. I love
him and Kelsey Grammer.
Yeah.
On the same show.
Yeah, well, no. This is the part Kelsey Grammer was
going to play.
Was approached for. He was in talks.
Oh, okay. I thought Kelsey was in.
Those fell through.
No, he got to deal with Cricket to do the Cricket commercials.
Yeah.
Well, was that a quick? Yeah, you threw the ice cream.
Sorry, I said he got the deal to do the Cricket.
Oh, he's doing those. He's doing. Oh, Frasier.
Yeah, he's doing Cricket cellular cell phone.
Right. well.
But did you see Penny Dreadful at all?
No, I never watched it.
He was a regular on that.
Okay, so he's been working.
Yeah, he's been around.
Well, that's cool. That's interesting.
Yeah.
He's got it.
Being Hank in the X-Men really didn't destroy his career.
Right.
Although it could have.
Well, you meant Dalton was in Penny Dreadful.
Dalton was in Penny Dreadful.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But either way.
Yeah. Now, Timothy Dalton. Now, there's a movie that's been in my head because I remember when I would have been 9 when this movie came out, seeing commercials for it on TV ad nauseum, and thinking, "Oh, that looked really interesting." And my parents saying, "No, you are never going to see that movie," and they didn't take me to see it in theaters. And you're right, never showed up on cable because the thing crashed and burned. But maybe you guys encountered this in your times.
Did you say the name of the movie already and I missed it?
Really?
There's a movie called The Beautician
I
and
actually
the Beast.
don't care anymore.
Oh, okay.
You took me so long to get to that. The Beautician and the Beast. I think I know of it. It sounds familiar. Is this with fucking what's her name, the nanny?
It's just Fran Drescher.
Fuck you, Ed.
Yeah.
Fuck you. And your parents probably told you no for like political reasons, right?
No.
She's like
everyone thinks that. No.
And she went to them and said, I want to do Beauty and the Beast, but I want to be a beautician.
Yeah, because it was probably bad.
They were trying to save you?
Yeah. It's Eastern Europe.
In that case.
He plays an Eastern European dictator, and she's a New York City cosmetologist.
Right.
Tries to hang out and teaches kids and
Bang another old man.
Yeah.
It's another show where she bangs an old man.
Well, she's trying to warm up, get him to warm up to her.
So it's the nanny, but now she's a beautician.
Yes.
And it's another dude with an accent, but he's royalty.
He's a dictator.
He's a dictator.
Actually, Bill, if you remember the opening to The Nanny,
Jones.
she lost her job in a beauty salon. Which is what brought her selling cosmetics
to his house.
Gotcha.
And he's like, you'd be great as a nanny. Fuck off. Well, I give it to him. That guy.
So there's no original idea in Beautician.
No.
Basically rehashed The Nanny.
Yeah.
With a little Beauty and the Beast on top.
However, I will say this movie was directed by Ken Kwapis, who was the main director on The Office.
Why are we still talking about this?
We had nothing.
So
we had nothing else.
There's a good pedigree there, but
and we are padding for time.
Yeah. So yeah, that's a movie I probably would not have liked when I was 9, but was somehow intrigued by.
They were afraid you were going to like it, and they would have to hear her because you know what it is, Ed? It's for them. It's like when he likes a movie, he watches it ad nauseum.
Yeah.
So if he likes anything with somebody like we find really annoying and shrill, then we have to keep him away from it.
First, what year was it when you were 9?
1997.
Okay. That's early enough, so I think maybe your parents were just worried that maybe you were going towards wanting to be a beautician.
They were afraid you'd be a beauty school dropout. That's what it comes down to.
Yeah, be a male beautician, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So.
Maybe. I don't know.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I'm trying to think of why they would say you were never seeing that movie to that movie.
Right.
Although,
if it was the
If
story,
it was like The
particular.
Exorcist, the real like extra gory version,
Right.
I could understand it.
Right.
You're talking about a Beautician and the Beast, which is like no one would ever remember ever seeing it if they ever saw it in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
No, absolutely.
Yeah, well, I was just kind of like, because it was Timothy Dalton, because like, oh, James Bond is still working.
That's what.
and
and that's all that matters is that he's a Bond. That he's a Bond.
Yeah. And he looks like he's trying to be funny here.
Well, I mean, good luck to him on that.
Yeah, and to your point, Bill.
Oh, don't tell me.
About a year later, when I discovered The Waterboy and Adam Sandler, this did cause a very similar thing to playing out
of not having like annoying characters, movies playing on a loop in the house.
Well, my father hates Adam Sandler with a passion,
right?
And when I begged for that on VHS, oh man, like I watched Waterboy and Big Daddy nonstop, but I wasn't allowed to watch them when my dad was in the house.
Well, I mean, I think that's the point where you are like, why don't you watch them upstairs in your room?
So yeah, I do that sometimes.
So if you ever want to get your dad back for anything like that he might have like screwed you up with when you were a kid,
right?
I suggest getting him the absolute worst of Adam Sandler.
Oh, well, just do the
like
clock,
Little Nicky, Click.
Yeah, do the Clockwork Orange thing and make him watch Grown Ups too.
This is a perfect segue. This is a perfect segue. We found your dad's Kryptonite.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
it's Adam Sandler.
It's Adam Sandler. There you go.
Basically, when your dad becomes like Salamanca and is stuck in the wheelchair
with the bell
and has the bell, you could just take the bell away from him, play Adam Sandler movies on a loop, and just walk out. You know what I mean? And just know that you're torturing him.
Watch him have a stroke.
You know what I mean? That's a miracle H2O.
Take the battery out of his wheelchair.
But since we found his Kryptonite, I feel like it's segue enough to
find somebody else's in the chat room.
And let's recap that chat room game, I guess, because it seems like it's all done. Palmer is calling it a wrap in there. So what do we got? I don't know. I mean, let's track all this down.
I'm trying to find it. Where is it?
I don't know.
There's only
it
two
should be in there,
people in the chat room.
I mean, he probably didn't really have to
there we
copy
go.
and paste it for us. It's so small of an area this
Oh, okay,
week.
I found it.
It's like 7 things.
All right, so the hashtag was other superheroes Kryptonite.
All right, Eddie, we gotta make this last. All right. All right.
So say it slowly.
Once again, Bob's breaking it down. Bobby breakdowns.
There you go. See?
I gotta get a sound clip. That was Bob with a breakdown.
So the first entry.
Yeah, what's the first entry?
Brack and Logic.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. I don't remember Brack being a superhero, but it's Agent Palmer, and he and I share some Brack love. So
Yeah.
I think that's where that's coming from.
All right, next up,
Mm-hmm.
The Thing and Paper.
This is a rock paper scissors joke. Is that what this is? I guess, or just.
He would crush scissors.
Well, that's true. Or maybe
Yeah.
it's just like if you think about those big hands he's got, like
There's no way he could write. It would just like
read the newspaper. Yeah, but he can't turn the page.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, it's so porous.
Yeah.
You would lick your finger to turn the page, and then all the moisture would just
it would be gone
It
already.
would be gone already.
Right. Too dry.
You'd have to like dip it in a bucket.
You just have to have Alicia do it. Like I know you can't see the book, but just feel turn the page.
You know, you have to keep one's hand soaking in warm water so he can like turn the page. But then the page would be all shot.
There's not enough palm
Yeah.
olive.
Yeah.
I've been soaking in it, Madge.
It's not-
oh they got a little too much into it with the cartoon characters.
Well, they were not.
That's probly my fault. But
Well, either
yes,
way.
we're blaming you, Ed.
all right. So next up is Hong Kong Fooey
That's why. Okay.
and Chocolate.
Was that his weakness? Maybe. I can kind of see it.
I don't know.
I'm gonna hit you with the Hong Kong Fooey. Is that a chocolate bar? Like I could see there being some weakness for him. Now.
That is not what Hong Kong Fooey sounded like.
That's the best Scatman Crothers I can fucking do on short notice. Okay.
I think that would be the best Scatman Crothers could do right now.
Well, thank you, Bob. I think that was
Being
a
that he's
compliment.
dead.
Oh yeah, right. That's dead Scatman Crothers I was doing. And it sounds perfect for that.
So next up,
Yeah.
Magneto and Aluminum.
I don't know. I mean, technically, it's a metal though. Just because it's not on the magnetic scale, that's not
Yeah.
how his powers work, right? I mean, he's not. Like
Well,
you can't
I
just
thought
throw
that's exactly how his
Yeah,
powers work.
he controls magnetic waves.
No, he controls metal.
Yeah, he controls magnetic metal.
Yeah.
Well, that's a good
That's
question.
why it's iron in your blood. That's why he can lift you.
Yeah, fair enough.
Right.
Don't get me wrong.
But
Like,
it's
I thought it
gotta
was.
be magnetic.
Yeah, see, I kind of thought it was just like they.
Oh,
Yeah, but that was like done by Stan fucking Lee, and that's like a thing where like
But the
it's
way
always loosey goosey.
that actually proves my point because
Yeah.
he's not going to make a really elaborate name coming out of left field. He's going to do something obvious and then add something to it.
well,
But I feel like it's comic books, which means it's like, oh
Like-
shit, we never thought about aluminum.
Yeah.
Ah, fuck it, he can do aluminum too.
No.
I always thought that he controlled metal through magnetic waves by
Fair-
manipulating
right.
magnetic
And
waves.
I always thought it was just more like on a molecular, microscopic level. He had control of those types of atoms.
Can we get a comic book scientist on
Can we
this?
get somebody in the chat room to check the wiki, maybe?
Yeah.
Because I bet you this has actually been an
where's
argument.
Zombie John?
Not fucking here.
That's okay.
He would probably be the
You know
best
what?
expert that we
You know where
have.
he's at? You know where he's at? He's at Comic Book Jones probably right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're having some kind of party today, I think.
Yeah, they have an artist there today.
Well, I
signing.
think he's had some personal stuff going on. So our thoughts.
Oh,
and
fair
prayers.
enough. Thoughts and prayers. Family stuff. Okay, sorry.
Uh,
We'll move along.
Yeah.
Well, somebody will write us an email by next week
yeah.
telling us the breakdown on Magneto.
All right. So
Mm-hmm.
Wile E. Coyote and Acme.
Right. All right, hold on, Palmer. Breaking news.
What do we got here?
Palmer with the scoop. Powers in the biz. Magneto is a mutant with the power to manipulate magnetic fields to achieve a wide range of effects. The primary application of this power is control over magnetism and emanation of both ferrous and non-ferrous metals.
Okay, so they threw that in there.
Yeah, that's what I feel like. I feel like they
Yeah.
were like, shit, we really want to do a thing with like soda cans, like or something one day,
Right.
and it was like, damn it, So back to the.
So Wile E. Coyote and Acme,
Wile E. Coyote Acme. Well, that's got to be.
which is weird because he uses that stuff all the time.
I feel like, you know what? He's probably not using most of it right.
Yeah.
It's probably.
He's not reading the instructions.
I think you know what his enemy is? Hubris. He thinks he's a super genius.
Yeah.
And it doesn't take a genius to see that he's probably not a genius.
Yeah. I'm thinking that he thinks he's such a genius that he just doesn't need instructions. So he just opens the box, puts it together. However, he's always got a few screws left over.
Right. It's
You know, and he figures, well, as long as they're not the screws from my head, I'm good.
Right.
And then he goes ahead and he uses it.
There you go. There you go.
And failure ensues.
Yeah.
Well, here's the last thought on that. If he's a super genius, he's getting outsmarted by Roadrunner. The Roadrunner then. He's a super duper genius.
Oh, of course.
All right. So the next one there is Bugs Bunny and any left turns at Albuquerque, especially.
Left turns at Albuquerque.
Albuquerque. Albuquerque.
Kirky.
I think we made a wrong turn at Albuquerque.
I think we know somebody who lives there. We have family in
Yeah, it's
New
good. There's
Mexico.
a problem with rabbits. The rabbits end up in that town, maybe.
I was thinking more about the pronunciation of Albuquerque.
Well, fair enough.
Yeah, he hasn't been right since Kirky.
So we could just watch a few episodes of Better Call Saul because that takes place in Albuquerque as well.
That's true. That's true.
Good show, by the way.
Great show. Wesley, this one's from Wesley. Due only to DC's past, I want to say Shazam in a live action movie, but it's not holding up anymore. That that would have been funny.
Yeah.
A year ago.
And Wesley does take on, but I hope it isn't that bad.
Fair enough. You could say Shazam and Captain Marvel in legal action. Something.
Well,
There's some kind of joke in there.
I would say back in the day, Wizard Magazine said the greatest comic to film adaptation of all time was Adventures of Captain Marvel in 1941, and that's the Shazam character.
That's something that somebody in the 1990s said about 1941.
Well, it's something someone in like 2003 said about.
Sorry, I was so off.
So
Someone who wasn't born when the original movie aired.
Well,
chances are, to be honest with you, yeah.
That doesn't mean you can't watch it and enjoy it.
Well, that's true.
Basically, what I'm saying is,
some guy said, and therefore you took that as fucking gospel.
yeah. Well, all I'm saying is, before the superhero movie explosion,
Right.
that was considered like one of the echelons.
Right.
So and it's good. It's quality. One day when I sit you guys down and force you to watch it, you'll agree with me.
Just remember, Ed, also too, when it comes to Wizard Magazine, nobody like in the industry really took it that seriously. It was a glossy hype machine of a magazine. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was basically like, like that kind of a thing. And,
hey,
it sold like hotcakes. So you did interviews, you did the promotions, you did the special exclusive art covers. You know what I mean? But in the end,
Bill, you can give me something.
if it was still around, I would give you a subscription to Comics Buyer's Guide. Okay? Because I had one of those as a kid.
Yeah, you did.
And I felt like I was fucking cool as fuck for being the only kid who fucking got something in the mail every week. I don't know. Something stupid.
You probably
It was a
figured
newspaper.
among your friends, you were
Yeah.
the coolest one because you had you had the in with the comic.
Well, I'll
books.
tell you this
You
much,
were a step beyond just buying them at the store. You were getting shit.
It was the one, it was the my one story of making that pay off, like Bob's kind of saying, is that like, I've told the story before, but basically no one believed me about Michael Keaton being Batman. So the next day, I had to bring in the Comics Buyer's Guide to show people like the article, the headline, which was the front page headline of this newspaper. Like, you know what I mean? Michael Keaton is Batman.
Wow.
World splits in half, basically. You know what I mean? They were like, Mr. Mom? And I was like, no, the guy fucking from that cocaine movie. I was like, think of it like that. And they were like, oh, okay, a couple of them. Even though like we were kids and like not everybody had seen it, but I had seen it.
Beetlejuice?
Yeah, right. Exactly. That's what people said. But all right. And then we got one more here from
Foghorn Leghorn and the Queen's English.
boy, I say boy. That's enough of that. I got nothing.
Yeah.
I got nothing with the Foghorn.
I say.
That's a little Porky Pig, a little Foghorn. I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now I forgot what I was going to try and say.
Something related to that though, Foghorn.
We have anything that's like not cartoon related? I mean, actual.
No, that was the
superheroes?
last one.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, somehow
Really?
it got shifted into
I
cartoons.
say that thing ain't over, man. You guys got to get your shit together and get some superheroes in there. We
Yeah.
said superheroes.
We could do another round. We got plenty of time.
Ed said cartoons.
Yeah,
Ed threw cartoons in
well, what I meant was cartoon superheroes. Like Mighty Mouse wears a cape and flies around.
Well, you
Like,
gave
that's-
right.
yeah.
I got you.
You know, that's why.
And Batman is in a cartoon too.
I
So.
was thinking like we go Birdman. You know,
Yeah.
there are different places you can go.
There's a lot of different places. You can give me any fictitious character's kryptonite if you want.
Yeah.
We can just open it the fuck up and say like, it's not even we're not even at an hour yet. You know what I mean? And usually by this point, so we're gonna have a little bit of time. So
That's okay.
let's keep Palmer busy. Let's go another round, and we'll make it. It's just open if people want to continue playing
Yeah,
it.
just superheroes. Think obscure.
Okay,
You get extra.
okay.
You get extra
Back to
bells.
just superheroes then. I just said make it anybody, but whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So
Well, whatever.
Yeah, well, we could save those for the after show.
they all do what the fuck they want to do anyway.
Yeah.
I mean,
Right, yeah,
really, when you
really,
think about it, these
really.
kids,
We
these
did
fucking
say
kids.
superheroes, and they did cartoons.
You know what I mean? No, but usually it's like I say, I'm making cereals, and they're like, how about lasagna? I'm like, all right, if it's funny. Like, that's my weakness. Is like, all right, if it's funny. And then if it's not funny, I feel like I want to yell at you.
Well, even sometimes when you make it cereals and they go like oat bran.
Technically, it's breakfast food.
Shredded wheat.
Shredded. Frosted mini wheats. Remember those?
It's like frosted
I still
cardboard
see the
boxes.
commercials.
It's good. That's the only way you can eat it, though.
Yeah, it's got to have a ton of sugar.
Oh, my God.
Because otherwise, you might just eat the box.
Yeah, it's Triscuits and milk. Like, what the fuck? That's all it is.
Really?
And who wants that?
Grandpa.
Salted or unsalted, I don't care.
Great grandpa.
Oh, my God.
But he needs to have it soaked for about an hour because he's got no teeth.
Oh. Just fiber and milk. Just rope. Just eat
Now
crunchy
that
rope.
Now that it's all soaked and mushed, can you throw it in the blender? for
Yeah.
me? And give me a straw.
I left my teeth in my room.
There you go.
All right. So if your kids want to play with that, you can guys go back at it if you want. Whatever.
Yeah, make it anybody.
Yeah,
Just
fuck it.
not a cartoon.
Yeah. Let's keep it real live action.
Keep living actual heartbeats.
Yeah.
All right.
As fictitious as they may be.
So where are we going next, Bill?
Oh, man, we're going to Chattanooga.
Ooh.
Yeah, a little bit of the meanwhile section.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What you do this? What you watch this week, Bill?
We watched a little bit of the old Iron Fist season 2.
Iron Fist.
There you go.
Did you finish it?
No. Chop Suey Louie, sure did. So,
Yeah.
me and Bob are going to take tandems on this. Yeah. We'll give him a little.
That's an overall. That's an overall.
That's like an overall.
All right.
But that's in compare. You got to remember that's because they came from somewhere shitty.
Right. Yeah. They didn't even polish the turd last year.
Yeah.
Right.
And,
it's still.
and it's not even a turd this year.
Yeah.
Although there are a couple of turd qualities.
Yeah.
Now, question.
Sure.
Because this was my main gripe last
Sure.
season.
Okay.
Does he wear the costume? Does he put on a costume with a mask?
I have to say.
You see the mask.
Yeah, no, kind of.
Okay.
And look, and here's the thing with him. Like, the costume's not that great. So for him, really the key is the tattoo. And I don't even mean that from like, the story setup and stuff. Because sometimes like in things, it's like he's got the headband, no shirt, green like gi pants, and the tattoo is like his emblem, really.
Yeah,
Like,
but
you know what I mean?
Does he wear the bandana?
They do the mask thing a little bit, mostly in the flashback stuff to give it away a little bit, but you see it in the trailer.
Right. They make it part. Yeah. They make it part of a ritual.
Okay.
One of the big fights that he has back
One of
then.
the big fights he has, and it's part of a ritual, and it's basically
I think it's in one of the
a
trailers.
giant towel with two masks on, one on each end, and they're kind of conjoined
Yeah, there's like one of these things
during a
going on.
battle.
It's very reminiscent of the Michael Jackson video "Beat It,"
Okay.
where the hands were tethered.
I remember the Weird Al video, Eat It.
Yeah, that's different. That's a different thing.
Okay.
And that's two guys fighting over a ham.
Yeah, basically. But less hammy, to take that back into it. Really, seriously, like less hammy.
Yeah.
It seems like everybody's got good dialogue and some good acting going on
Absolutely.
here. No one feels as stilted. Even Ward,
Really?
the guy who was like...
Although he does have a couple of moments.
Yeah, he's got a couple moments. I don't feel like he's like the right actor for this role that they've kind of morphed it into this season.
They may have also surprised him, and he's not really versed in certain emotions,
Mm-hmm.
and they might have brought him. But listen, hey, we want you to do this like this, and he
Mm-hmm.
was thinking something else, and now he's got to go, and he doesn't really know.
I feel like they might have gotten like, look, like this guy had some drug problems and stuff. He might have gone a little heavier in the audition
Okay.
with the gravitas that they ended up ever doing on the show. And maybe that's why.
Okay.
So there's some times where he feels a little stilted. You know, and he looks too much like Michael Shannon to me a little bit too.
Oh, really?
I'm like, him and Michael Shannon could play brothers, I think. They got these weird kind of, very chiseled kind of features and shit.
But yet, when you look at them at certain angles, they kind of look smooth.
It's weird. Like, it's a little weird.
Yeah, because there's at one point, it looks like he has no features. They're looking at him dead on, but from a distance.
Give him a little bit of shadow, and it's like, where did that come from?
You cannot see any of the details in his face. It's just like he has no, like a brow, his eyes, and his lips. And that's it. But anyway, that I got to say, though, that the fight scenes.
The Kung Fu overall.
The Kung Fu overall has really, really stepped up.
Yeah.
I mean, where before it looked like they showed him 5 minutes before they shot.
Yeah.
Now
it's
like the actors, all of them, they stepped up. They spent like 6 months training with somebody. They really took it seriously this time.
They replaced the martial arts team, the showrunner, and a couple other key people. Shortened the season from 13 to 10 episodes. These things factor in hugely across the board.
Absolutely. The 10-episode thing, it was perfect.
Right. The pacing on that alone, I think, was a huge help. And again, it just echoes the whole thing of like, 10 is a great number. You know what I mean? You don't.
You can tell a good story in 10 without having to worry about having to put too much filler.
Yeah.
You know, you can create the right balance of character development and the required other elements for whatever you're doing in 10.
Because I'll say this, you know, because like what was good about it was that like whenever it starts to feel a little fillerish. Like, just as you notice it, that's when the scene ends, right? Because, like, on a regular show, that's what happens sometimes with Netflix shows, I feel like. Like, on a regular 42-minute TV show, you know, you don't have as much kind of, like, long conversations and introspection. You just don't have time for it. So when it happens on Netflix shows, you kind of notice it a little bit. You're like, oh, we're spending, like, a good amount of time talking about this one thing. I feel like I've seen that on a show. Like, usually we cut away. We go to something else. And then, but now over 13 episodes... It's too much. But right here, like, it feels like the pacing is like, just as it gets a little tedious, we go on to the next thing.
I just want to mention that I noticed, because I wasn't watching it on Netflix, that the time on these, they're all just under an hour.
Okay.
Nothing goes over an hour. It's all about 50
something minutes.
Something was like 52, 53. Only one was like 57. You know what I mean? It was,
right.
So overall, when you look at that, it's probably about 9 hours over 10 episodes.
Sure. If
you figure for 5 minutes per episode, you got 10 episodes. That math, that's almost 50 minutes. So you figure roughly. You know what I mean? So you're getting about 9 hours a show in 10 episodes, and that seems to be about right. And it doesn't really feel like you're getting too long per episode, because we're conditioned for about 45 minutes at this point. And that's, like you were saying, it seems to be about when you start saying, hey, this seems a little long, because you've gone an extra 5-10 minutes, that's when it's ending.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think they've streamlined it perfectly at this point. And this is what they need to do with stuff like Netflix. From now on, going forward.
Certainly the Marvel shows.
Now, for the people who skipped season 1 or maybe dropped out after a couple episodes, could you start fresh from season 2 and not?
Yeah, you kind of have to.
It wouldn't hurt, you know what I mean? But here's the thing: I will say that, like, if you're watching on Netflix, like, Netflix does put a little recap, like a 4-minute recap of season 1 in between that you can either skip or watch, and it blows past, like, it goes by a little quick. Like, it's really like if you've already watched it, and you want a refresher. Yeah. Like, here's a refresher. I wouldn't say that it's totally structured to kind of like tell you everything you need to know about season 1. In a clear context, like, it's not kind of built exactly for that, but you can get that and then jump into season 2. All right. But ultimately, when you think about season 1, I'd be hard pressed to say, like, outside of like just to know what the dynamic is, maybe between Daniel and Ward and the sister, and why that's kind of complicated and weird coming into this season. Yeah. You might want to go back for that. You might feel a need, but like you can just figure it out.
You just basically
it's a TV show. It's not that heavy lifting, you know.
Their dad worked with his dad, and
and you get a little bit of that here and there. You piece it together. If you just wait for it, like, it does come up again and enough that you get the pieces for it. If you watch headier TV shows, this is not a challenge. You know what I mean? If you watch the WestWorld, a Legion, and stuff like that, this is not a challenge. Just jump into season 2.
Yeah, you can kind of follow from one episode to the next really just by watching the last 15 minutes or so of the previous episode.
I'll burn through season 1.
What I'm saying like as you go through this season.
Oh, this season you could do it.
You can watch. You can kind of like say, okay, if I can get the last 10 minutes or so of the first episode, that's all the lead-in I could ever really need for the next one. But you don't even really need that because, like you said, it's basically if ever watched anything back in the 80s where it was always like cut it at the end of one episode and then you had to wait a whole freaking week.
Right.
And you were in mid dramatic moment. You know what I mean? It's not a problem. You kind of you can kind of pick up things quick.
Absolutely. I don't want to spoil it, but I will say that like it didn't pull me out at any one time, which I thought was really cool, like in a way where like maybe once or twice small things.
Yeah, there were a couple of small things I call bullshit on.
Yeah. And
I think there's maybe three or four altogether.
But I was telling you that the thing was that like I was kind of I was proud of it in a way where like it had brought goodwill with me. So when those things did happen, they were easier to kind of forgive. It wasn't like, here's number 7 in a list of things that are kind of like getting stuck in my craw as I watch, which seems to happen almost with every Marvel series.
Nothing was really blatant and in the being thrown up in the fans' face.
Right.
Something that's really out of place.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So anything that took place, it was kind of like, well, like. I guess I could say Davos's hands. He ended up with 2 hands.
Yeah, he was using both hands.
He was using both hands, as opposed to Danny being able to just use one.
Yeah, so there is something like that, right?
And that seemed like a very 80s thing.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah, and so if anything, it's a couple of small things like that.
But they kind of goes through that moment where that reveal in a very natural way.
Yeah.
So you don't really think about it. And I think that's the difference.
Right. So what I was trying to say, I'm trying to get to, is just that there's a thing at the end. That was the only thing that I was like, well, what the fuck is that?
Right, yeah.
But they kind of do it for that reason.
Okay.
So, it's just if anybody has a similar reaction, that's kind of teased up to be kind of like a crazy moment thing.
Now, don't go into detail.
Right. But 7.5 inches.
Okay.
That's just a measurement. It's not any more detailed than that.
Okay.
Fair enough.
Are there any appearances or connections to characters in other Marvel TV shows or movies?
It's very loose. It might be the loosest stuff. Really, what you get is
So Luke Cage doesn't return the favor here?
No, which was a surprise. If anybody's really waiting for that, you're not going to get
I'm actually
Luke.
glad that didn't happen because that would have felt like, okay, now you're trying.
Yeah. Now it's like, okay, he was over there, so you got to be over here.
Right.
And I would want it to be more impactful than his appearance on Luke. Because if it was like another kind of like soft, they'll just come in and we'll bullshit for a while and like we'll talk shop and compare notes a little bit and then he'll go away. Like if it wasn't really like, Luke came in to help with a particular thing or we wouldn't have gotten through this without Luke, which is kind of how Danny's appearance felt in Luke season 2. It's kind of like, Danny pops in because like, I was getting coffee down the block or something.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. And also Luke does ask him for a favor.
Well, that's what I mean. Like he kind of has to go to him and that's what brings him in. But what's her name? The cop, the detective.
Oh, Mercy. Sorry, Misty.
Misty Knight. Yeah, so she pops up. Okay. So you get your crossover feel with that. Okay. Whereas she's kind of like Bob had pointed out, she's kind of filling that role of Claire in a way, where Claire's not popping up in this. So Misty's doing the whole let's make it a cohesive city kind of thing by her being in it. There's offhand mentions here or there, very small of other things.
And she was used to good effect because she comes in to kind of work with the cops in the area.
Yeah.
At one point, she's trying to anyway.
Yeah.
And that kind of relieves that. Like that question of, hey, where the fuck are the police in all this?
Yeah, it helps, because she's, well, not to get too into it, but she does a lot of that where, like, I'll take care of the cops, guys, go. Yeah. Like, it's like, you're right, all right. Like, I don't know how you still have your job, Misty, but okay.
She's always taking time. Like, I got time, so, I'm using my time. Now
I'm on vacation, but I'm flashing his badge like I'm not, let me tell you.
Well, the whole thing with this is she was like, taking some time off debating whether she should take the promotion.
Right. Well, that's the thing, right? So at the end of Luke, she gets hit with this possible promotion. And so, like, since they can't have her quantify taking it here, that's got to happen on Luke's show.
Yeah.
She has to be thinking about it right now. Like, we've caught her during that interim period of, I'm just mulling it over.
After all that happened, I took a little time off, so I got a little time to think about the promotion.
I got a vacation time.
I used up some vacation time. Finally, they made me use it.
So that's kind of it in a nutshell. It's come with a recommendation. Look, we're not trying to say it's
not perfect.
A whole perfect thing, and it's it's the best of the best now. But from where it was to where it is,
it's a lot better. It's much more watchable.
This is the sharp machine you wanted in season 1 is now running the show.
So it's like next gen season 2 versus season 3.
I would guess so. Although Bob could speak to that as the
I don't
deeper
really understand what you're
Star
talking
Trek
about.
reference.
Star Trek Next Generation, the first 2 seasons are dog shit, and then season 3 they kind of like pick it up and like get it together. It's like once they change the uniforms.
Yeah, well, I think it's safe to say that it's done that in 1 season.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's what he's
You
saying.
know what
Like
I mean?
that kind of a
it's
change.
it's that kind of a changeover. Yeah.
So there you go.
Where they actually just like got rid of everybody and got
Yeah.
Rick Berman and everybody else.
Yeah, and so and then generally for both of those, it's about upping the game. Finding the root of it and getting to it.
Yeah.
So that's coming.
No little squirmy aliens taking over bodies that they have to shoot with phasers that don't normally destroy things visibly, but in this case, one time it did.
But that's season 3 of Iron Fist. We're not up to that yet.
No, that's when they give him laser vision.
Yeah.
Well, it's coming. Iron Vision. Trust me, Iron Eyes.
So-
It's gonna
There you
happen.
Yeah. So when does he combine with Luke Cage for a whole season, where they just do 1 season of both of them together?
You know what's gonna happen?
Is that 3 or 4?
That's gonna be like 5.
5?
Because if you think about it, Luke's got to finish out this season because that last season sets up the next season of that to be a whole different thing.
Well, I'm waiting for Misty to get her super suit.
Well, that's it.
I think that's going to have to happen probably next Luke.
Well, the thing is too, it's like Misty and Colleen, have a thing where they're partners in a way, much as Luke and Danny are heroes for hire. Misty and Colleen are like Daughters of the Dragon. This is the name of a book that they have.
Right.
Okay.
And they have a partnership thing. So you see a little bit of sprinkling of that. They definitely kind of get a little bit more chummy. I think what's interesting is the age difference
Yeah.
a little
Yeah.
bit. And that feels interesting because in the comics, I think they're kind of played to be a little bit. I don't even know for sure. I'm just presuming, to be honest with you. They're played a little closer to age, a little bit more of an even kind of
That's safe
skill
to say.
sets
I think,
too.
I think that's safe to say because we're talking about Marvel Comics, which keeps everybody relatively the same age.
yeah, it's like about a 2-year difference.
Even
It's
if
like-
they were like frozen in ice. And came back like 900 years later,
Right.
they still look like they're 22.
That's it,
you know?
baby. Keeping it fresh. We keep these characters fresh.
So
with that, Bob has been continuing his adventures into the Kevin Smith back catalog.
yes,
I believe his newest entry is called Yoga Hoses.
Yes, the fine piece of filmmaking it is.
Oh boy.
High class,
Stuffed
highbrow.
with a cornucopia of thespians.
Yes, it's like the new Shakespeare.
Now you tell your review, and then I'll tell you how I first saw this movie. Give your
All right.
review first.
Well, first I got to say I'm glad I saw Tusk before I saw this
Okay.
because that's the order
Right.
of these
Right.
movies, and it kind of helps.
Sure.
Because there's a couple of in jokes you won't get otherwise.
Right, sure.
This is the story of the 2 Colleens who are behind the counter in Tusks when Guy Lapointe comes in and asks them to ID Walrus.
Okay.
Right? So they're basically this was a little bit of Clerks for 15-year-old girls
Okay.
with a little Evil Dead kind of humor.
All right.
And
Sounds cool.
But then but really it's all Kevin Smith.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's irreverent.
Right. A lot of dick jokes, a lot of dick cunt jokes, shit like that.
Kind of. He's not. Remember, it's
Body fluid humor?
15-year-old girls, so he kind of keeps that.
It's right. I got you. It's there, but it's now on their point of view, so it's not as raunch.
Right.
Gotcha.
Right. It's girl jokes now.
It's PG-13.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So it is a PG-13 movie.
Wow.
This is a movie that I was laughing my ass off the whole time because I immediately got the absurdity of the whole thing, the whole story, and that's the way it's presented. And I'm gonna dial 911 for Bill.
Professional podcaster.
Yeah, no, the main bad guys. What are the 2 words that best describe them?
You're talking about the guys that come and hang out at what was the name? What's the name
of the store?
The store they work at is
yeah.
That's like Dumb and Dumber with like.
Well, no. I'm talking about
what you mean.
the main. I'm talking about sausage Nazis. Like,
the Bratzies.
Yeah, the Bratzies.
The Bratzies.
Right, because basically they're made out of bratwurst.
Right. Okay. Yeah, you did mention something about that the
They're
other
basically
day.
little clones of the main bad guy, who's been living underneath, 37 feet underneath the convenience store.
Okay. All right.
I'm trying to remember the name of it because it's such a ridiculous name, and there's a lot of funny, stupid shit in here.
Well, I'm starting to form up a question here that I think might get to
Like
do some of this.
was it Justin Long or Jason Long?
Justin.
Justin Long. He's in this as a yoga swami
Okay.
that the girls go see, who makes up his own shit.
Right.
Okay? And his name is Yogi Bayer.
Gotcha.
Okay.
This. I'm building a theory here, but go on.
And you see, the first time you see Yogi Bayer, he's on the phone with Warner Brothers Studios, and he has no clue why they're trying to sue him for copyright infringement.
Gotcha.
It's like his whole sign is like a ripoff of Jellystone Park.
Right.
And Yogi Bayer, B-A-Y-E-R.
Sure.
Okay, and it's all done in that whole like
that kind of
the
font.
font and everything.
Sure.
It's totally.
It's obvious. Yeah.
Yeah, it's totally obvious. And
by the way, the convenience store is called the A to Z.
right, E-H.
Eh,
Instead of
A
A
to
to
Z.
Z, which would be
Right,
American, it's
right.
E-H,
Right.
to Z.
Right.
Okay, which is the way Canada and England say Z,
Sure.
Yeah.
right? And most other places.
Yeah, I was gonna say everybody but us.
Yeah.
Fucking metrics.
So, so you have the Bratzies. Now, the Bratzies, basically, they bore themselves up people's asses
Oh, okay.
and then come out through the top of them, out their mouths.
Oh, gotcha.
the
Okay,
stomach,
they work
that
their
kind
way
of-
up.
Yeah, they work their way up. Right. So you get a sequence of the girls in A to Z,
Gotcha.
with a couple of teenage boys who try to kill them,
Sure.
who end up getting killed by the Bratzies.
Right. Okay.
So they kill all the Bratzies. They think they kill all the Bratzies.
Okay. That puts them on the mission,
Right.
like.
But now the police are there, and now they go to jail because
okay.
these 2 guys are dead.
Right. So it gets pinned on them. Right.
Right.
Gotcha.
So then Guy Lapointe comes in,
Oh boy. Right.
breaks them out of jail.
What's the matter? You all right?
I need power.
You need
Sorry.
power? No, okay. Go ahead. So Guy Lapointe comes
Guy
in.
Lapointe comes in, basically Johnny Depp,
Yeah.
working with his daughter, one of the Colleens.
Sure.
So
This is a big family operation. This
so
thing now.
So and then the rest is basically them proving their innocence. And I won't go into it, any more than that. I've said a lot.
Shenanigans
More
ensue.
shenanigans ensue. And
So my question that I've been
Yeah.
formulating as I hear a lot of these ideas, these quote unquote ideas in this
Yeah.
movie, is like, do I have to be as high as he was when he wrote it to watch it?
well, Ed, I don't know. Was he smoking pot at this point? What year was this?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Because Kev, yeah.
Yeah.
I think since
remember Tusk was a movie that.
Oh yeah, he was high. He was high for that one. So
yeah.
So this is after Tusk.
I think he started smoking around Red State, if not earlier.
It was right after.
Because he's mentioned it, when he
was
started.
right after Zack and Miri.
Right.
Because
Seth Rogen, right?
Seth Rogen.
Seth Rogen was like, I can't believe I'm doing a movie with Kevin Smith and we haven't smoked pot together yet.
He's like, dude, I don't smoke pot, but I'll try.
So yeah.
So you were saying after Bob was kind of done, you had a thought here or something you were going to say?
When this movie came out,
Right. Oh yeah. Right.
it did not get a wide distribution.
Okay.
I had
No
to
surprise.
I had to find an art house theater in Freehold, New Jersey, off of Route 9.
Well, of course it was off Route 9.
Yeah.
Right, because it's got to be near Leonardo, New Jersey, where it's where he's from.
Yeah.
But like I had to go deep into Central Jersey, and it was one of those places that's like off a main street, this little hole in the wall, and they had like the kind of video projector that you buy at Staples.
Okay.
And
Right.
Like 2 rows of folding chairs. It was really rinky, but it was.
And Kev was running it himself.
But it was an art house theater where I could and like the
Is that what that means?
The
He was
snacks.
out there collecting tickets himself.
If I go to an art house theater, is that the experience I should be ready for?
Yeah.
It's the back door of somebody's basement.
It's like going to the church,
Yeah.
and they're like, "Oh, we got old cartoons on a projector."
Especially like outside of Manhattan, it's gotten better.
Sure.
But like a lot of these places, they're like shacks.
Well, yeah.
And like the ones in Manhattan, it's like these were nice once.
Can we write that off? Is that like a thing? Is that like making up a church? Is that why people do it? Because you can do it anywhere, and you get a rebate.
Well, that's what they're doing with a few of the old theaters on the island now.
There you
The
go.
Churches.
Sure.
Yeah, and it was the place they didn't really have snacks. I think they might have had like a popcorn machine, and like all the candies were were pastries from the bakery next door.
Okay.
Like,
Okay.
And no one was wearing gloves.
So yeah, watching this, and there was maybe about 5 other people in this screening.
Mm-hmm.
I was the youngest person by about 2 decades.
Well.
Right.
Yeah.
And the only one who laughed at anything.
One Kev Smith fan in the room. 4 members of the
I'm
group, like membership dues kind of people,
I'm
right?
looking at these people like, why are you here? Like,
Because they're probably the 5 people from
that come to
town
every single thing that place
that
does.
actually knew
yeah.
Kevin.
yeah.
That would go see that.
I was
Because
his
remember,
teacher in high
You see it in the
school.
middle of New Jersey where he's from. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, he's a little bit more north. He's
Well, I
towards-
mean, people move.
Well,
But who
we
knows?
had family that lived there years ago.
Sure,
Yeah.
sure.
Right?
Yeah,
But
yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
So-
no,
so-
it was Ariella and
Yeah.
Mom
Oh,
and
the
all
immediate
that.
family. I immediately went broader than that. I was like cousins. I was like cousins, I guess.
Yeah,
No,
but
they lived in Leonardo for a while.
yeah, but I thought it was funny. I thought some of the in jokes.
Sure.
It was not as acerbic as like
Okay.
his other stuff.
No, well,
You
that's
know,
that's always the thing people
I-
say now.
Yeah, like I
Not
was,
as cutting.
I wonder like if he and his daughter had written this together.
Well, I
you
think
might
there's a
have
little
had
bit of that.
You might have had something more fun.
At least him and his other daughter, Mary Jane. At least him and that one of his new obsessions.
But yeah, no, it's Kevin Smith was fun. But I'm glad you got to see it and we can talk about it.
It's definitely a fun movie.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, it was just about laughing.
Just having a good time, and
Yeah. And because I know Kevin's stuff,
yeah.
it doesn't bother me that if I'm looking at a movie that's really made for girls because I know that I'm watching Kevin. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So it's not made just for chicks
Right.
in that way.
No,
you know what I mean?
This is Kevin being Kevin,
Right.
but putting girls in front of it, basically.
Right,
You know,
right.
and so he's got this perspective of them in there too, but it's not.
Yeah, it's not.
This isn't the traveling pants movie part 2.
Right. Yeah.
You know
Like
what
that.
I mean?
Yeah, but not.
It's just the hood of the traveling pants.
Yeah.
Right, but that's
You know what I mean?
that's totally
Yeah, it's like a really fucked up version of like Archie or Josie and the Pussycats.
something.
Yeah. You know what? If they had instruments while they were running around,
Yeah, perfect.
it would
Right,
be.
right.
It would definitely. It would. You could call it Josie and the fucking Pussycats.
Yeah.
There you go. You know what I mean? All right. So if you haven't checked it out at home, maybe it's time. Maybe it's time.
Actually wouldn't be a bad story for Josie and the fucking Pussycats. now that
Yeah.
I think about it.
Make it like a horror thing.
It would be totally absurd enough to fucking work with those characters.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Or maybe this is the big thing Kevin's been hinting at. Kevin's been hinting at that he's
Yes,
that he's got
he has
something
been.
coming. Like he's been working on this thing. I don't want to overdo it, but it's really blowing my mind that I'm working on this thing. Someone must have handed him a property that he can't believe he's working on, and it's going good. I think is the other thing that must be happening.
I keep wondering if it's Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
I mean, maybe. I don't know.
Plastic Man?
It would be a big step for him, but
Yeah.
I think that it would be in his wheelhouse.
I think it is. I think he is one of those guys. Like if you had a short list of who could pick up after James Gunn and make that work, or I think he's definitely on that list.
Yeah. And I think he could do it too. Like when you hear him on podcasts, it almost seems like he's too intimidated at some point. But like if you got someone behind him and say, "Hey man, listen, you can fucking do this."
Bro, it's just like walking into an episode of Flash that you'll direct.
Oh yeah.
Just on a bigger scale. It's like, think about it. Because this machine is already running. All these actors are ready to go. Like, that's the Marvel thing as a director. In a lot of ways, that machine is already going. You don't have to do a lot of those, what would probably be,
Right.
Like if he was doing it like the first movie in a franchise for Marvel, then yeah, that's probably going to be like maybe too much.
Right.
Out of his thing.
He's just got to come in and pick up where somebody else left off.
And
they do want him to write it because they don't want to use that script anymore. They don't want any ties to it.
Yeah,
at
well,
all. So
they'll have him do a Passover or something.
I believe that because I was looking at some of the stuff that he was saying in the Facebook group.
Yeah.
And he was just basically saying that I wrote this, I had to write this thing, and I submitted it and everything, and it's really fucking big, and if it works, oh my god.
Yeah.
But
Jesus
I can't
Christ,
say nothing. I can't say nothing.
He's dying to say something though.
So.
But yeah, I mean, hey, if it was
timing,
that'd be cool.
And the timing is just right.
Well, I don't know if it depends on what they're having him do with the writing. Like if he's taking a pass at James Gunn's script, like it's like here's James's script. Take a pass on it. Like, what are your notes on it? And like he's initiating those changes, and that's the writing he's doing. If he's writing something big from scratch, then he started that even further back.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because the James Gunn thing is only like 3 months old.
Yeah, but
a project like this, if you're writing it for Kevin Smith, Pothead Galore, if he's writing it from scratch, this is something initiated like 8 months ago or longer back. The process on writing something like that out, it's a little bit longer than a lot of people.
Okay.
Well, don't get me wrong. Some guys can bang shit out, but they're few and far between. I've been listening to a lot of screenwriting podcasts.
Maybe he's doing the next Ant-Man movie.
Well, that's what I mean. It could be something as easy as that, too. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I think there's a couple places for Marvel to fit him in.
Absolutely.
Even,
absolutely. Oh, by the way, speaking of Marvel,
sure.
There's one, there's a cameo in there that you would think could only ever happen in a Marvel movie that he pulls off.
Okay. now I want to watch it for that. So don't tee it up anymore. So now maybe I got to watch it for that.
Did I say too much when I said that?
No.
All right.
All right.
Because I actually thought about that
before it happened.
Before coming in to sit down and talk.
Okay.
What I mean?
I got you.
That was one thing I wanted to make sure that I said it, and I said it in a way that wasn't revealing too much.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
All right. So yeah, I just busted a gut at that moment. At that moment, I was just like, oh motherfucker! If anyone could do that, it would be him. He's the only one outside the Marvel universe who could get that kind of fucking favor.
Single pop culture reference out of you for the rest of the trip. You understand?
You got that?
All right.
All right. Sometimes that's what you gotta say to Kev. You know what I mean? Kev, enough with the pop culture fucking references, all right? Like, dude, it was just like fucking X. I've been listening to this Smodcast again. I started getting back into Smodcast. So.
Oh, okay.
Especially when he's by himself.
Oh.
Like when he's got to fill 25 minutes or something.
Yeah. Yeah, I do Fat Man on Batman. That's my jam.
Like when he says he has 5 shows, does he really have 5 shows?
Yeah.
Because then I don't know them all.
It's Smodcast.
Fat Man on Batman.
Actually, now it's called Fat Man Beyond.
Fat Man Beyond, right?
Because
it's more than just Batman.
Yeah. Fat Man Beyond.
That's with Mark Bernardin.
Jay and Silent Bob Get Old.
Okay.
Hollywood Babylon.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Right. I know that's weekly.
And Edumacation.
Okay. And those other 2 are weekly also?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. I didn't realize.
Or like
I thought he was kind of
regularly. They try to put it up as much as they can.
I heard him say that a couple times, so I kind of thought he was exaggerating a little bit, maybe.
Yeah.
But I should have known better.
Yeah. Plus he does random stuff. Talk salad and scrambled eggs.
Yeah. He'll pull up some of these other shows that he's got like that are just random shows. All right. So with that, kids.
So I don't have any meanwhiles this week?
Nope.
Nope.
Well, he took over the news, Ed.
Meanwhile.
Sorry.
No, I totally forgot. I apologize again to you, sir.
So I saw a movie and I listened to a podcast this week. Which one do you want to hear first?
What? I'm sorry.
I think he wants to hear emails.
Do you want a movie or a podcast?
Let's do the movie first.
All right, so I went to the movies.
Okay.
I tried to see The Predator, did not have time.
Okay.
I ended up seeing a movie called White Boy Rick.
Yes! How was it?
It was fun.
Yeah, because it kind of looks like it could be fun.
Oh, man. Like, it's one of these things you got to pay attention. There's not a lot of dialogue, and the dialogue that you get makes absolutely no sense.
Okay, so you have to kind of like be working your brain to get the what is he talking about? What's going on?
Yeah,
gotcha.
which is weird because it's about a deadbeat guy who lives with
his 15-year-old son.
Yeah, no. The main character is Rick.
Gotcha.
Who's this kid? His dad is played by Matthew McConaughey. His grandpa is played by Bruce Dern.
Nice.
So
good family.
Comes from a long line of douchebags.
Gotcha. Yes. Where is it? Chicago, Detroit.
Detroit.
It's in the
Detroit
80s?
in the mid '80s. Starts in '84.
Right.
but his dad is a gun salesman, and he's like a door-to-door gun salesman.
Okay.
And he basically uses the son to try to get in with the local drug gangs.
Okay.
And basically he gets enveloped in this world, and you see what the drug culture was like in Detroit in the 80s, and it's really different. Something I have not seen in movies.
Sure.
Just the whirlwind that these characters go through. The first 10 minutes, there's this scene where he comes home, and they find the sister who's a junkie with her boyfriend on the couch, and like Matthew McConaughey just wants to take the family out for custard, and all of a sudden the boyfriend drives off and almost rams into the grandparents' car, and it's this whole whirlwind of dialogue that it comes at you so fast and is so unintelligible. I'm like, do I need I know they're speaking English, but I feel like I need subtitles. And it's just this cool, interesting world. Great nonverbal acting. The performances are great. The movie sometimes the story veers off and is a little nonsensical, but it's based on a true story, so I guess that kind of makes sense. This is a very high cast for me. And I don't know from a screenplay standpoint or from like a best picture standpoint, but just these performances. And let me just pull up the actors' names quick, because I just want to. Richie Merritt plays Rick, and he's this seemingly really quiet kid, but you get so much out of him, and the arc that his character goes through in the story.
Okay.
Where like he gets pulled in by the FBI to start being an informant, and he's working like 3 different sides in this movie, and you realize like all this stuff that this kid is into, and he still keeps his cool. And the story he goes on, and it has a tragic ending. But yeah, White Boy Rick.
White Boy Rick, really, really well done. I could barely even get it out of my mouth.
Yeah.
No, but I saw a couple different trailers for it.
Yeah.
I was really jazzed for it. It seems like the kind of thing where it's got a lot of edge and personality and tone and stuff like that.
It's definitely got a lot of style. Looks like.
Yeah. Another shout out to Belle Powley, who plays his sister, Dawn.
You think she's listening? Maybe.
No, well, I will
shout out.
I will say a shout out.
As if you
should
guys
check out this movie for her.
Right.
But she's got these like huge eyes.
Okay.
That are just
Mesmerizing.
entrancing.
Okay.
And it's like, oh my god, it's just so dynamic.
Ed's got a new crush.
Yeah, sounds like it.
Sounds like.
Oh yeah.
But so what's your other thing? You got a podcast in there? You said a podcast recommendation?
Yeah, podcast reco.
Ooh.
This is something that's on Stitcher Premium. I put down the money for this because, not just for this, because there are a couple other things on Stitcher Premium.
There's actually a bunch of content that if you're into podcasts.
Yeah, and I think in like 6 months they say this is going to go. There's going to be a free version of it.
Okay.
But it's called In Vorhees We Trust with Gourley and Rust.
Gotcha.
It's Matt Gourley from the James Bonding podcast,
right.
also Super Ego and a bunch of other stuff.
Sure.
And Paul Rust. Who you might know from I Love You, Beth Cooper. He was writer, creator, and star of Love on Netflix.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and it's them reviewing the Friday the 13th franchise. I am 2 episodes in, but I think they've dropped 4 so far. And yeah, each episode is longer than the movie that they're covering.
Right, sure. As was always my fear with getting into certain movies.
But it's that same recap fun, and because I am not as familiar, like James Bonding.
You've seen those movies.
I've seen each of those movies at least 3 times.
Right.
Back and forth. I know them like the back of my hand. The Friday the 13th, I don't think I've seen all of them. I've probably seen about half of them.
Right.
And I do not have the same memory of them. So I picked up a box set, and I've been kind of like going through them, watching each one before I listen to the next episode.
Okay.
And it's interesting the things that you pick up, and like the stuff that I think, oh my god, this is terrible acting.
Yeah.
And that's why they love it. And that's the thing that's infectious.
Yeah. Well, there's a certain amount of. Because that's the thing. As much as that's like beloved, it's got schlock to the core. Those movies.
Oh yeah.
It's good. It's great. It's fun. It's serviceable. There's a reason why it's a standout. You know what I mean? But at its core, like it's only a notch above.
Well,
the standard kind of
Yeah.
horror
Yeah.
fare that was coming out.
It has to do with the whole genre being born out of being made for $17.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely. And this is like, ooh, $25.
Yeah.
Like-
You know what I mean? It's like $17 on black and white film. George Romero did his,
Right.
did the first one. It
And
was
then
like-
when it got really hot, because you weren't around at the time, then when it got really hot, they were like, oh, this is going to be part 3. We're going to go $45 on the budget and do some 3D effects.
Yeah.
Right,
You know what I mean?
No one got paid on the set.
No.
It was
Yeah.
all them and their friends just doing it just to have it, get it done.
Basically.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then, so the only cost was like renting the cameras and the film.
Yeah.
Because nobody was sleeping in those cabins again either. I'll tell you that. The location came probably pretty cheap.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, they might not have even gotten the permits and just got it. You know what I
Well,
mean?
and like the thing I noticed, again, I've only seen 2 so far.
Sure.
But like the first one, you're right. It is bare bones. It's almost a home movie.
Yeah. It's
It
got
just-
a Texas Chainsaw
yeah,
Massacre
it
feel,
just-
like where it's like low budget.
It has Tom Savini effects.
Yeah, well.
that are really stellar.
Right.
And just that one last jump scare of her in the boat.
Yep,
And it's
yep.
like, oh, okay, all right, I can see why this.
Yeah.
Like that alone. And the second one is kind of a slog.
Yeah.
And all of the kills, because evidently the MPAA made a huge stink about the first one.
Okay.
So they had to cut stuff down for the second one.
Sure.
So all of the kills are really short shrift.
Okay.
And they keep cutting like right before all the carnage comes out. I'm
Right,
like, oh, come
right,
on, man.
right. Yeah,
Except those last 20 minutes
Gets crazy.
are the
Yeah.
best. Are the best of the franchise that I can remember. Just like those last 20 minutes of Jason chasing Ginny around, and then Paul, the boyfriend, comes in.
Right.
But like everything before that, it's like, oh man, what? Why? Really? They made 9 more of these? And then
That was the problem with some of the Friday 13th was getting to the action.
Yeah.
Like setting up the kids and them coming to the campground and like
Yeah.
who's dating who, which kid is the pot smoker, which kid is like trying to get his dick wet but no one's giving him any play, and like it's like should have really just from the jump been like, all right, who's going first? Let's make some bets. Like, you know what I mean? Let's make a game out of it. You know?
Who's gonna go hide behind the road chainsaws?
Right. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
I almost feel like you could just have it on mute and tailgate and just like doing chips, taking all the bets, and then just turn
Right.
turn the volume up for the last half hour.
Right,
like,
right.
all right, we're good.
We're good. People are gonna start. Oh, there's the first death. Let's go.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're on. All right. So
It's all about the suspense for the first hour.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But so that's called again,
In Vorhees We Trust with Gourley and Rust.
and that's on Stitcher Premium right now.
Yes.
And it'll come off there eventually.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's
and
cool.
last thing, have a big announcement to make. Franchise Chronicles.
Right.
Kidding.
We've got 1 article left.
Right.
We've got Mad Max Fury Road, and then we're gonna start doing next week. It's time. We're done with that franchise.
Another franchise must be chosen.
Another franchise must be chosen. We're gonna.
Do we
continue-
want any
Next
kind
victim.
of music or something, or do we want? No, is that too heavy?
hey.
Sorry. Do we want something a little creepy?
Yeah, here we go.
There you go.
So the next franchise
Yeah.
we're going to be going with
Yeah.
is the classic Universal Monsters.
Oh.
Now, maybe you're thinking there's like 10 franchises in that, right? And like, where are we going? So, Universal just put out a box set on Blu-ray,
Right.
and we're going with that box set that
Sure.
just dropped. It says 30 movies, but it's really 31 because there's an English and a Spanish version of the original Dracula. And I won't go through all the movies in here because it would bore Bill to tears.
True.
But I will say,
Yeah.
it includes the box set is really cool. But it's basically they took all of the legacy collections for these franchises and threw them in a box set.
Okay.
But it includes Dracula, Frankenstein, The Invisible Man, The Mummy, The Wolfman, Creature from the Black Lagoon, and Phantom of the Opera.
All right. Your mission is to find out what is the creature from the Black Lagoon. Like, what's his name?
Gilman.
Yeah, but that's not what his mother called him, I'm sure. That's not like on his certif. You know what I mean?
You want me to figure it out?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I want you, like, in the course of the movie, be like, if it's not Gilman, it's this.
Okay.
You come up with a good second one,
Yeah, okay.
Because I'll call him Gil. Like, that's a real name.
Yeah.
With one L. But anyway.
Gilly.
Hey, hello, Gil Papad.
But yeah, and the box set, if you're looking through, it does come with a nice little pamphlet of about 40 pages. Has a lot of art.
Let me see. Fucking
and
give it to me.
writing. All right. But the thing that's funny is because it's all of these legacy collections together, and you have a lot of crossover between Dracula, Frankenstein, and the Wolfman.
Sure.
I get multiple copies of each movie.
Yeah.
So I have 2 versions of Frankenstein meets the Wolfman, and I have 3 versions of House of Dracula, House of Frankenstein.
But when you say that
and
they're
Abbott and Costello meets Frankenstein.
But when you say that they're
Abbott and Costello meets Frankenstein is a good movie.
Yeah, it is.
when they but when you say versions,
I mean 3 copies.
3 copies.
There are 3 discs
Right,
that have
right.
those movies
Right,
in this one set.
It's not like, oh, there's a little difference in this one and then that
No.
one. It's just that because this guy is in, these 2 guys have their own franchises,
Yeah.
we then must have, yeah, okay. I got you. So there's a little overstuffing
Yeah.
on that box set in a way. Like, so when they, yes, there are 3 instances of the same movie. But we were talking about that off mic. It looks like they did some repackaging on previous sets, and
Yeah.
so that's what that is. But the booklet's nice. It's got some interesting images and photos, behind the scenes stuff, a little bit, some letters and stuff like that. It looks like
Yeah.
some script notes, that kind of thing.
I'm excited. This is going to take me like months. This is going to take me more than half a year. And I hope you all take the journey with me.
Right.
Yeah. So like going off that list, Bob, what movie? Any movies jump out to you that?
Well, I've never been a huge fan of these. I remember seeing most of them when I was a little kid. They were always on TV. Probably my favorite one is going to have to be the Abbott and Costello one.
Oh yeah, because and you also got them being Invisible Man and The Mummy. Those movies.
Right. Okay. Well, that's the classic trio right there.
Yeah.
The 3 of them. So I would like those 3 right there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's and for Abbott and
Those, I don't think you really watch those and review those as horror movies though. With Abbott and Costello, and they're really not.
No.
You know what I mean? But if you're not, if you're talking about pick ones to pick to actually review your. I don't know that those would be the ones you'd want to do.
Well, but the thing is the evolution of the franchise, and that's an interesting point where like this franchise got to the point where it could have fun with itself. And I think that's
and that's also a telling of the time it was too, because
Yeah.
you couldn't do that today,
yeah.
and they wouldn't do that today.
No.
They would
There would
think
be
that
too
that
much
would be a
thinking
risk.
about it. You
Yeah.
know?
Oh, it would be considered a risk.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well,
a huge one.
They classically tried doing that in the early '80s with Jaws. Jaws 3 was originally titled Jaws 3 People 0, and it was meant to be a spoof. and then the studio was like, "No, it's got to be serious. We'll make it 3D."
That's working so great for the horror movies.
That says a lot about why that movie sucks so bad.
Yeah.
Because 2 wasn't bad. It was more of the same.
Yeah.
But it wasn't bad.
Mhm.
Yeah. 3 though.
Yeah.
That was sad.
Yeah.
But so what you're thinking about? Ones you should do. Ones you should review that maybe outlie.
Yeah.
The key periods in the franchise.
There's a lot of different ways to probably approach that.
Yeah.
So what's your thought?
I'm gonna approach them in chronological order, the way they came out, and again, it's gonna be the evolution, because these movies kind of came in 3 stages, where you had them
Shitty.
Well, it was setting.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
That was funny.
Yeah,
No,
it was setting up the franchises.
Yeah.
And then trying to sequelize them, and then that didn't really work. And then there was a huge revival in popularity when they were recycling
Okay.
Frankenstein and Dracula.
Right.
And so they had a giant influx. Let's make a whole bunch of them.
Right. Let's go back. It's been a while.
Yeah,
kind
and
of thing.
and that's when they started all the crossovers and the excess and everything. And
Okay.
like this is the first big franchise that had like an inter-franchise crossover.
So the answer to the question was chronologically?
Yes.
Okay.
Chronologically, yeah.
Chronologically.
Yeah.
So you're gonna watch all 31 movies?
Yeah. Yes.
And you're going to write about all 31?
One at a time, baby.
All right.
Bill, that means he's coming over here every Sunday for
No,
like 6 months.
no, it does not. No, it does not.
Well,
It means he's got 31 movies to watch and then 31 weeks.
well, I'll just come over for the important ones, like Son of Dracula.
You don't get to pick the important one. Important to you is not the same as important to me.
Or The Invisible Woman.
Well, let's
Yeah.
not be sexist.
Well,
I mean, let's give her
I don't
a
know
shot.
Those are the important ones, though.
I mean,
those are
It's interesting.
You got to be at least 3 movies deep in a franchise before you get to the son of and the wife of.
Yeah.
Well, it used to be the rule. Yeah.
Oh, you're right. You're right. The third Frankenstein
Third
is
or
son of
fourth.
Frankenstein.
Yeah.
And the third Dracula is son of Dracula.
There you go. There you go. Bob's cracked the code.
Yeah.
And then the fourth one would be the wife.
Right.
Yeah. You got the mummy's tomb, mummy's curse, the mummy's ghost.
All right. So we'll discuss it further. As far as what you're
Mummy's
coming over
retirement
here to
fund.
watch.
Listen, if I come over here, I'm not telling you what movie I'm playing. I'm just.
Well, then
Maybe-
now that I know that,
Maybe what we do, Bill, is we put them all in a hat,
yeah.
and then when he's not looking, we only have one with an actual name on it in the hat. We take
I
all
could
the-
just
we
keep
take
the
all
door
rest out.
locked, and it's like, show me the disc of the, not the case, the disc.
Well, I could tell you it's a Wolfman movie. How's about that?
Well, that's fine. Like if you told me something like that, then I'd be like, okay, Lon Chaney, all right.
No, maybe no, not necessarily. Wouldn't that be Michael Landon?
I mean, well, a couple different ways to go. But I will say that, like, look,
No, I was a teenage werewolf. Michael Landon.
All right,
And I know that-
it's your bit. Like, you know what I mean? I'm just thinking 31 articles, really? But it's on you.
Don't give him a key, Bill.
No. All right, so I think that wraps up the Meanwhile now.
Yeah.
All right, so people got that to look forward to. The classic Universal Monsters, doing some reading and writing with your buddy Ed. Look forward to that soon. Now, can I?
Yeah, let's do some emails.
Okay. Emails now with hot, fresh stuff mail. Ooh, first one's from our dear friend, Steph Muniz, co-host of Gotham Lights / Orville Lights podcast.
Semi.
Orville Gotham Bacher. I don't know. I tried. All right. Hey, yous guys. Keeping this short. You're welcome, Bill. Camping, yay or nay? Take care, fellas. Your pal, Steph.
Yay. I'm always at a camping.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You're a scout.
Yeah.
You're a scout.
Depends what type of camp. We're talking tents. We're talking lean-tos.
You're
talking
already knowing
cabins.
about it. I'm not going with you.
Yeah.
What?
I've done tent. I've done lean-to. I've done cabin.
Sure.
Don't want to do tent anymore.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
I'd say lean-to would be my
Yeah.
choice.
No, I do cabin with a nice fireplace and a decent bed.
There you go.
'Cause,
I'm quite the opposite now
I'm
at
not
this
that
point.
young anymore.
Yeah.
You know?
I've just realized that I always pretty much fall asleep in the chair in front of the fire, and I put up the tent for some reason.
Dangerous.
I don't know if you remember, Bill, but we used to go when we were little.
Yeah, I don't
I don't
recall
know-
that.
I don't, yeah, so you were probably you were baby when we used to
Yeah, probably.
go. Because we used to go out in Jersey. There's a place where you can rent a cabin, and you have the little fire outside. And you can cook outside. There's a little sink and even a little small stove inside in case you have to cook inside. Fireplace and 4 beds.
Yeah.
And a couch, one
Yeah.
room.
Yeah, the cabins are pretty good.
So it's not really roughing it.
No, but
know,
I mean,
but-
you're in the elements. I
Yeah,
mean,
you have very limited electricity. You're using an outhouse.
Yeah.
You got like 2 light bulbs in the house, 3 light bulbs. That's it. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? It's very minimal. So you kind of do rough it a bit. You know, it's nice as a family thing like that.
so
but-
Bob says, yay, as
but-
long as it's cabin camping kind of thing. You know?
But you know, to really rough it in camping, that's not me.
Yeah.
You know.
So that is me, kind of. Like I bring the tent, forget that I put it up, sleep in front of the fire. You know, just more bug spray to keep me going.
All the wrong things.
Yeah, all the wrong things.
By the way, don't spray
That's
the
why we're lucky he's alive right now.
Yeah.
They're all stories.
By the way, pro tip:
Yeah.
do not use bug spray near the tent because it will remove the waterproofing from the tent.
Well, that probably explains a few things. Because I know a bunch of us would just be like, bro, just spray your tent down with off,
Oh my god!
and then they're not anywhere near it. But that's the first, and in all the years that I went camping, that we went camping as a group, and with a bunch of guys who were scouts and who were like outdoorsman types, that's the first time I ever heard that. And that makes a lot of sense, because a lot of our tents were like, why is it leaking? Like, None of us were ever thinking, oh, let's get more waterproofing spray or like that's a thing because I know that that's out there too. Like you can get I think you can get
Yeah, you can get that at any shoe store.
Yeah, basically.
You know what I mean?
But yeah, did a lot of camping.
Yeah,
did a lot of
I
camping.
mean, it depends on the type of tent, but generally, like,
Yeah, we established that.
Yeah.
I'm moving on. But yeah, so I mean, I would go again. It's been a long time. We don't go anymore because all the guys got married and had kids and shit. So they go as family units, which like is a different kind of thing.
You do that. Go for a little hiking. Do some fishing.
Yeah, I mean, we did we did canoeing and shit like that. You know, which I always enjoyed, even if it was like didn't know what the fuck I was doing.
Couldn't do a J-stroke to save your life.
No. Never knew what I was doing in the canoe, and usually paired up with somebody else who didn't know what they were doing in the canoe. Because if they did, I would have gotten a proper canoeing instruction.
See, because the proper stroke, you can't just like do it back and forth.
Yeah.
As you do it back, you got to like turn it and make a J with the paddle, and
Right.
that
Well,
like,
that's what keeps you back on course.
Yes.
Yes. That I figured out.
Okay.
That I kind of figured out on my own, like how to keep the nose from kind of shifting around.
Yeah.
I think my throw off was what like do you do in the back, and I think for that it's just alternate sides more often than the guy in the front does.
exactly.
See that? Figure that out on my own. Because that's kind of like the modes I was taking.
I'll tell you, you're halfway to canoeing merit badge.
I'm halfway
I tell you, the other half
to something.
The
I
other,
love that.
I would tell you, the other half is much more physically intense.
Well,
much.
I think I got enough merit badges. I accrued enough points from 1 year's particular experience, where
I know what I'm doing in the after show now.
where we lost. We went down in 11 canoes,
Okay.
and we came back with 6.
Oh, you're not going to tell that story now.
No. But we got hit with it was a legendary nor'easter that hit the area that weekend, back in the 90s, and I got stuck on Cherry Island, and had to get rescued by the Rangers who came who came upriver in a speed raft. After giving the trooper the finger, who was up on the Pennsylvania side of the river, looking down with his binoculars at us for like 5 minutes. Like, he must have already called or whatever. But they were so far away that a little kid ran back up to his house, made some kind of sign on like a big piece of fucking oak tag or sheet paper, and tried to like hang it down for us. And I guess it said like, "Oh, we called for help. Like, don't worry." Like, but we were just, me and Jay were just like, "Fuck you! Can't read it from here." Like it's a sheet of paper. Like they can't hear us. Between the distance across.
They had
and
no
then
idea
up.
you were giving the finger either.
Yeah, probably not. They're like, "Oh, they're pumping their fists, I guess."
The cops probably like, "Oh, wow, if I had better binoculars, I could see what they're trying to do."
Yeah, and then the Rangers, like when they got us, they were like, "Yeah, people get stuck right here every year when it hits like class 4, class 5, people just get fucking. There's nothing you can do. Like once you fucking flip at a certain point, there's no getting it back.
Right. Yeah.
But good times, and I'm down for more, I guess.
Right. Well, you just got to get all your old friends to listen to this podcast and hear you say, "Hey guys."
Well,
I like to go too, just because I'm not married.
The last time we went as a group of dudes, it was because as the best man to Mikey's wedding, I was like, "Do you want to go to strip club or you want to go camping for the whole fucking weekend?" Like, you know what I mean? Like, those are like the options, dude.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
I don't want you to be someone to whine to you later on down the line, like, "Oh, you went camping, you didn't go see tits." So the choice is on you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And he's like, no, we're definitely going fucking camping. We have not gone camping in 10 years as guys.
That's what my brother went bar hopping the night, and then the next morning we all went fishing.
See?
Yeah.
There you go. And you guys went out like on a boat and caught some crazy shit, right?
We went on a party boat, caught some porgies.
Guys, nice.
Yeah.
All right, so with
Of course,
that...
numbnuts here forgot sunblock.
Oh, well...
It's my fault. It's my fault.
You live it and you learn,
It's all right. Skin cancer is your fault.
Oof. This is. Oof.
It's enough to make you sad.
Wesley, bring me up.
Wesley Gaskins. Oh, dear boys. He says, "Hey, you gentlemen.
Hey, Mr. Belvedere.
If drinking rum before 10 a.m. makes you a pirate instead of an alcoholic, then what does drinking whiskey before 10 a.m. make you?"
A hillbilly, not a redneck?
Right.
All Right? 'Cause-
problematic but not alcoholic.
I think it's still just an alcoholic.
Yeah, I think
it's.
and anybody who's like saying that makes him a pirate, like just really wants to be a pirate.
Yeah.
And in this age, you just say you're a pirate.
See,
I thought pirates drank grog anyway.
No, definitely like rum, spiced rum for pirates. That's the thing. I think grog is. Oh, we actually have to look it up.
That's something
like mead.
Grog is something that pirate themed bars made up to sound like really.
Yeah, maybe it's more like that. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
maybe.
Listen, I used to watch Bar Rescue. There's only ever been
Oh my God! Yeah, they made
one pirate bar, and it was the most disastrous bar on earth. So I don't think there's any more.
Yeah. Oh, they made. I remember they made grog.
They made grog, and it was like
4 types of rum and
like.
Oh, okay. It's rum based. I didn't know.
Every super sweet mixer they had on hand.
Yeah, but it was like they
had 2 versions of it.
Sure.
But they were doing like double shots, where like the way the pour spout is, there's like a ball bearing that stops at a certain point, and they would do that twice.
Yeah. You gotta double it. Yeah, that's how you do that.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
It's the kind of thing they figured out. Like if you one drink already, you were above the legal limit.
Yeah, right. It's like a Long Island iced tea.
Like they couldn't sell. They shouldn't legally sell you anything more after that.
One is enough.
Yeah. So anyway, I don't think there's any more pirate bars.
Yeah. So back to Wesley. Yeah, I think if you have a whiskey before 10 a.m., it's not a big deal.
It makes you Jim Beam.
That's true. And I don't think it's a big deal if you're just been up all night from the previous night still. Then fuck it.
It also makes you Jay's friend.
Yeah, I mean, that's a possibility too. I mean,
it just makes you not hungover.
I mean, if he was here, he might say something to the effect of, "I don't know what's the issue."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? All right. So Wesley's got 2 questions.
Second
question
now.
Yeah, he's all right. We'll forgive him. If there's anybody we have to forgive, it's Wesley. All right.
You speak for yourself.
All
right. Well,
he's here listening live. So.
He checks out those Patreons.
He knows I love him.
Oh, it's a closing. Oh, I thought it was another question.
Oh, okay.
If you fight, may you fight with a friend. If you steal, may you steal your lover's heart, a lover's heart. And if you drink, may you drink with me. That's his
Very nice.
That's his new sign off, I guess. Instead of good afternoon, good evening, and good night, I thought he was setting up a question. But if you fight, may you fight with a friend.
I guess
so that after the fight, it's
not a big deal.
You're still friends.
I got you. I got you. If you steal a lover's heart, yeah, well, that's kind of like home wrecking. And if you drink me, drink with me. Hey, man, I'll drink with you anytime, buddy. I'll have.
You don't have to ask Jay at all.
No. It's not for Wesley. I'll drink with that kid any old time of day.
Any day.
Any day. Anytime.
Any day of the week. Twice on Sunday.
Well, it depends on how much we do it the first time around. I may not make it to round 2. All right, so that's going to wrap it up for the main show.
All right.
By main show, I mean this part right here that we do before the after show.
Thank you, everybody.
Which, if you're not listening live, is a thing that you can catch live or on the Patreon for a bucko a month. So there's that.
Yeah.
People check out the Patreon. We gotta do another episode soon. Maybe I'll do that one outdoors as well.
Okay.
I might. I pulled out the old H4n thing.
Yeah. I wanted to tell you the quality's not that bad on that. Like,
no, it's okay.
Yeah, your voice is good. You do get a lot of background noise, but you come through very clear.
Yeah, I feel like if I could have somehow, it wasn't just using that basic headphone mic.
Yeah.
If I had something else kind of going on.
Oh, is that what the setup was?
Yeah. Okay. It was just me walking around with the Apple default headphone mic, and it's going into Boss Jock.
Oh, okay.
And it really was like my first time using Boss Jock on my phone to record. Because Boss Jock is supposed to be like an all-in-one podcasting thing, not just sound clips, which is all I use it for during the main show. But hey, that's enough behind the scenes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Let's just get the fuck out of here. I mean, well, close this up, rather, I should say. All right. Ed, if people want to find you on the web.
You can find me on Twitter at Edward O'Hare, TBD.
At Tibda.
TBD.
Tibda.
Sure.
No? Okay. Brother Bob, how about you?
At Bob WTPC.
At Woodpick.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
Woodpick.
Woodpick. And I'm at Wicked Theory. The show's at wickedtheory.com. You can find...
Theory.
Wicked. It's Wicked. I've noticed now...
Wiggy.
Yeah, this is a thing that happens for everybody from New York.
Get that bacon, egg, and cheese.
Bacon.
Bacon, egg, and
Everything
cheese.
becomes a G.
Bacon, egg, and cheese, salt, pepper, no ketchup.
That's not true. When you want to put it on thick, that's how it comes out.
I find that it's like a default thing. Like, people probably don't even catch themselves doing it.
You think so?
Yeah, I listened to some audio from... Dan sent us some audio, and it's a lot of Wicked Theory.
Yeah.
Like, it just kind of mushes into it. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Unless you're trying to not say it.
Yeah.
I think it's one of those things because of the accent, maybe. For some people more than others, maybe.
You know, let me get a bacon, egg, and cheese on an egg bagel, salt, pepper, no ketchup. For every drop of ketchup I find, I shall kill you.
No, that's you. Usually, most people get it SPK.
A lot. The majority.
But not me.
But not you, and not me either,
And not
usually.
me.
And I ask for like a tiny bit sometimes. Because usually it's too overpowering. But if you get just the right amount,
Yeah.
like a little bit, it's not too bad. It's a nice switch up. All right, so with that, Brother Bob's going to play us on out of here.
The Wicked Theory podcast is heard live every Saturday at 7 p.m. Eastern until whenever. Just go to mixler.com/wicked-theory. Mixler is MIXLR. Sign up to join the chat. Then click the follow button to get reminders whenever the show goes live. You can find the show on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play Music, wherever good podcasts are given away for free, and at wickedtheory.com. You can support the show at patreon.com/wickedtheory. There you can get the after show if you miss it live. God forbid. Plus other exclusive episodes. As always, send your emails to podcast@wickedtheory.com.